Scott DeGraffenreid is a behavioral statistician and social network analyst. He has worked for hundreds of companies over the last 15 years. Using the tools of social network analysis and root cause analysis, he's provided solutions that increase job satisfaction and productivity, reduce turnover, and make companies not only more profitable, but a better place to work for all employees. His material is based on scientific data analysis and a lot of complicated math that we have tried to insulate you from as a general public.
I generally work in employee retention and productivity. That's my stock and trade as a consultant. And my consistent track record there is that I've been able to reduce voluntary turnover by at least 50% without recourse to compensation or other recurring costs in 110 consecutive engagements. And I've been doing that for about 7 years at the turn of the millennium, when we started to notice that there were some very different behaviors from the people that we're going to be talking about, the millennials. And one of my clients called me one day. Actually, I noticed their reporting, and I saw that they had added a new category for attrition. They had always had a category called failed to report, and suddenly they had one called failed to return. I'm like, failed to report, failed to return. Same thing, isn't it? So I called him. I said, well, you know how you're always raging on us to keep close tabs on what's happening. How is failed to return different, though? Well, failed to report is when they don't show up at the beginning of a shift. Failed to return is when they go on like a potty break or lunch break, or we just look up and their headsets are dangling. There's a call center. I'm like, you're kidding. Mostly, if people show up at the beginning of a shift, they'll at least have the good grace to finish the shift. But no, these guys would just like have a fit, get in a snit, and gone. And we looked to see who was doing this. It was almost all kids at that point who were 17, 18, 19 years old. I thought, well, that's funny. And I let it go for a little while, and then we noticed we were getting a lot more of that behavior with all of my clients. And I had to start thinking about, why would they be so different? Why are we getting such a different set of behaviors? And my background, I have a degree in accounting. I tell people I'm a recovering accountant. I have not pushed a pencil in pursuit of GAAP in over 13 years. And when I was an accountant, I was like the worst kind of accounting addict. I was a forensic accountant, which is like the black tar heroin of accounting addiction. It was a very exciting ride, but I just burned out on it one day and decided I really, rather than helping find the bad people, I'd rather show businesses how to keep the good people. And that's what I've been doing. And one of the tools that I use is a mathematical process called root cause analysis. And root cause analysis is really just about looking as far back before something became a problem as you possibly can. So a lot of time is spent trying to see when an issue originated, which is usually well before anybody imagined. And the origin of millennial behavior, the significant differences that they exhibit, actually began well before 1982. Counting millennials in 1982, because there were a lot of important things happening in that year, chiefly the invention of the PC. And I cut off arbitrarily at September 11, 2001, just because you got to cut off somewhere, and that's where it is. So when I'm talking about millennials, I'm talking generally about people born between 1982 and 2001, although there's no reason to believe that the kids born subsequently since 2001 will be significantly different. We just have to find a new name for them, and nobody knows what that is yet.
Yeah, a lot of employers have taken kind of an ostrich approach. They really just put their heads in the sand and they're waiting for it to go away. And in the beginning, when I started addressing this issue, it was far and away the prevailing assumption that they'll grow out of it. They're just young yet. They're a little immature. And, when reality sinks in, they're going to straighten up and fly right. I really didn't expect that was going to be the truth. And as the oldest of them are now approaching 26, 27 and older, that certainly hasn't been borne out. They're very much still a different generation, a very different mindset. They operate on a completely different wavelength. And it's not something they need to grow out of. I don't think it's even something we want them to grow out of.